What if the man controlling your mortgage rate, your savings, your retirement is now under criminal investigation and the President of the United States is the one who forced it into the open?
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June.
Well, we're talking about Jerome Powell, the sitting chair of the Federal Reserve, but we're also talking about Donald J. Trump, now back in the White House. And we're also talking about a criminal investigation that's involving testimony, subpoenas, and the U.S. justice system. This is something that almost never happens to a sitting Fed chair. So here's the part that should bother you. This is not about politics. This is not about cable news drama. This is about who really controls the economy and what happens when that power gets challenged. Because while you've been dealing with higher prices, shrinking buying power, and watching gold explode higher, something unbelievable was uncovered behind the scenes. A multi-billion-dollar Fed renovation, testimony under oath, and now federal investigators are asking some very uncomfortable questions. And all of a sudden, the man who's always preached independence suddenly looks cornered.
That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
Markets are reacting, the dollar's reacting, gold is reacting. So the real question is this. If the Federal Reserve's independence is cracking, what does this mean for your money next? So let's go ahead and walk through it calmly, clearly, and without the spin, because this changes everything. Be sure to drop a like. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate your support, guys. All right. So let's get something straight out the gate. This is not political theater, and it's definitely not some cable news noise either. A criminal investigation involving Jerome Powell, the sitting chair of the Federal Reserve, is a structural rupture in how the U.S. monetary system is supposed to function. Now, clarity matters here. An investigation does not mean guilt, but an investigation into a sitting Fed chair is also not normal, not even close. In modern U.S. history, this just simply doesn't happen. And this is exactly why markets reacted before anyone even mentioned charges. So here's what many people, or at least most people, are missing. The Federal Reserve's power is built almost entirely on credibility. It doesn't have an army. It doesn't pass laws. It controls expectations. So the moment federal investigators step in, even symbolically, that credibility is questioned. And when credibility cracks, trust follows. Now, when trust wobbles, markets reprice risk. And when markets reprice risk, the dollar feels it. That's right, guys. This is why investigators didn't wait. This is why gold moved. And this is why the reaction was immediate, because this isn't drama. This is systemic. Now, let's talk about the trigger. And no, it wasn't some tweet or a press conference. This was a renovation, okay? The Federal Reserve's headquarters renovation, which began years ago, was initially projected at roughly $1.9 billion. Now, by the time the numbers were updated, that figure had ballooned to $2.5 billion. Now, that kind of overrun doesn't just raise eyebrows, it triggers oversight. That is a $600 million difference, by the way. So here's the key detail that gets buried here. This project started before Donald J. Trump returned to office. Now that matters because it immediately undercuts the idea that this was manufactured political retaliation. The spending existed, the questions followed. This is actually a perfect moment to zoom out just for a second, because what we just covered, this is a reminder of how fast things can drift when no one's paying attention. New Year's resolutions always sound great on January 1st, but by January 10th, most people have already quit. Am I right or am I right? But there is one resolution that's worth keeping this year: getting your finances in order. Now, for a lot of people, that doesn't start with chasing growth. It starts with balance. Protection matters just as much as upside. And this is why I partnered with Noble Gold Investments. For over a decade, they've helped investors add physical gold and silver to their portfolios, not as a gamble, but as a way to reduce market risk when the systems get a little bit unpredictable. Now, let's be honest, guys, uncertainty isn't theoretical anymore. Now, if you want to explore what that kind of protection could look like for you, make sure to visit RonYatesGold.com. That's RonYatesGold.com. You can also scan the QR code right there on your screen, because when the rules start shifting, having something solid on your side absolutely matters. So this is where the Senate Banking Committee enters the picture. Once testimony is given under oath about costs and scope and management, the issue stops being about architecture and it starts being about accuracy.
The Trump administration now threatening to indict Fed Chair Jay Powell over comments to Congress about the Fed's renovation project. Eamon Javers is in Washington this morning with the latest. Good morning to you, Eamon.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew. Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell struck a defiant tone in an unprecedented video statement on Sunday night, revealing that the Department of Justice had served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas in an ongoing and previously unknown criminal investigation. Powell said the subpoenas were served Friday and relate to his testimony about the Federal Reserve's building construction project before the Senate Banking Committee last June. Now, President Trump has been deeply critical of Powell over the past year and has intently scrutinized cost overruns at the Fed's construction project. But Powell said the investigation is just a pretext.
Markets care about this distinction. Optics alone, they can spook investors. But legality, that's a whole nother level entirely. Because if testimony doesn't align with facts, the consequences aren't political, they're legal. And this is what blew the lid off this entire situation. This is where the entire story pivots, because the investigation, it's not about whether a building was expensive. This is about what was said under oath. Now, in June, Jerome Powell testified before the Senate Banking Committee about the Federal Reserve's headquarters renovation. Once that testimony happened, everything changed.
But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts.
A Department of Justice spokesman told CNBC on Sunday that the Attorney General has instructed her U.S. attorneys to prioritize investigating any abuse of taxpayer dollars. Now, a source familiar with the investigation confirmed to CNBC last night that it is being run out of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, which is run by U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, a longtime political ally of President Trump.
From that moment forward, accuracy wasn't optional. It was legally required. So here's the part most people overlook. Federal prosecutors, they don't open inquiries over some bad optics. They look at the statements. Did they align with the documents? Did they match internal estimates? Were lawmakers given a full and accurate picture? These are the questions that they're looking at. These are the questions that they're asking, okay? So this is why the U.S. Department of Justice stepped in. Subpoenas were issued to Federal Reserve officials. Investigators began reviewing communications and even testimony to determine whether Congress may have been misled. And this is where it gets worse, because if investigators believe that testimony crossed from optimistic framing into false representation, the issue becomes potential misconduct, not mismanagement. Now, again, there are no charges, there's no indictments, but once DOJ scrutiny begins, the clock doesn't just stop because someone runs monetary policy. And so now I want to go ahead and clear up one of the biggest misconceptions in this entire debate. Donald J. Trump cannot simply fire Jerome Powell. It doesn't work that way. The Federal Reserve is designed to be independent, and the President of the United States has no authority to remove the Fed chair over policy disagreements, period. But here's the legal pressure point. Under the Federal Reserve Act, a sitting chair can be removed for proven misconduct. Now, that is totally different. This is why this investigation matters. Trump doesn't need to control monetary policy directly. He only needs to expose whether Jerome Powell crossed a legal line. And then all of a sudden, what looked like a Trump losing it situation starts to look a lot more like strategic pressure.
The Dow has dropped 300 points to start a potentially volatile day. We're almost down 1%, 0.75%. So let's bring in CBS News contributor Javier David. He's also the business editor at the Dallas Morning News. So, Javier, my guess is that we're seeing this volatility as a reaction to the news that the Federal Reserve Chair is facing potential criminal indictment.
Yeah, look, it's war. Jerome Powell for years has kind of studiously avoided mixing it up with the president, who's known to be mercurial. He's unpredictable. He's prone to these bouts of bluster. You might recall that awkward visit Trump made to the Fed last year. He and Powell were in hard hats side by side. Even then, the Fed chairman sidestepped fighting with him in public, but the niceties appear to be finished. There's a legal threat. It's pretty breathtaking. It's unprecedented and sparked a very uncharacteristically blunt response from the Fed chairman, who believes that The Fed's independence is under attack. Investors don't like this. They don't like uncertainty, and they certainly don't like the appearance of political machinations, if you will, making its way into monetary and investor decisions. So we're seeing the dollar sink and we're seeing stocks react in response.
Because the moment misconduct is even plausible, Jerome Powell's position weakens, his leverage fades, his negotiating power shrinks. And here's the very uncomfortable truth. Trump doesn't have to win this case. The existence of the investigation alone shifts the balance of power. This isn't yelling, this is leverage. This entire conflict makes a lot more sense once you understand the real battlefield. Interest rates. Now, right now, the Federal Reserve has the Fed funds sitting around 3.75%. Now, from Donald J. Trump's perspective, that is still too high. Higher rates mean higher interest payments on U.S. debt, tighter credit, slower growth, and more pressure on households already stretched thin. But Jerome Powell, he has a different mandate. His argument has been very consistent. Inflation, while cooling, is still a threat. Now, if you cut too fast, if you cut too deep, and, well, you end up risking reigniting price spikes that punish consumers even more. And this is where the clash becomes unavoidable. Trump is focused on fiscal urgency, the real world cost of servicing trillions in debt. Jerome Powell is focused on monetary caution, protecting long-term price stability. Now, here's a line most people miss. This is not about personalities or tempers. This is about who gets to decide the pace of economic pain, because whoever controls rates controls the speed of relief and the consequences of getting it wrong. Now, what we're talking about right here, right now, oversight, testimony, and what happens when powerful systems quietly cost people more than they realize, it doesn't just apply to Washington. Now, for a lot of retirees, overpaying for healthcare is the hidden retirement tax that nobody warned you about. Not because they did anything wrong, but because they trusted a Medicare plan that looked fine on paper and then quietly siphoned money out of their fixed income every single month. Premiums you don't need, coverage gaps that you weren't told about, out-of-pocket expenses and costs that add up year after year. It's crazy. This is exactly why Chapter exists. They help eliminate that hidden tax by optimizing your Medicare coverage line by line before it drains your savings. Now, most people watching the show right now, they're not guessing anymore. They're already calling the phone number right there at the bottom of your screen, 909-563-8279, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron. I left a link down below. Click that link right now to make sure that your money is not quietly leaking away. Because just like with government oversight, what you don't see can cost you the most. So now let's talk about the panic narrative and why it doesn't require exaggeration. After news of this investigation broke, Jerome Powell released a public response accusing this administration of trying to intimidate him and influence monetary policy. That's right, guys. The statement alone tells you a lot. Jerome Powell is essentially accusing Trump's administration of attempting to intimidate him. But here's why this really matters. Silence would have been safer. Fed chairs are trained to say as little as possible. Every word moves markets. So when Jerome Powell chose to speak out, it wasn't confidence. This was clearly pressure. He insisted on independence. He reaffirmed that his commitment to data-driven policy. But the very act of defending himself kind of revealed exactly how narrow that path had become. This is institutional stress, not emotional collapse. Jerome Powell is boxed in from both sides. If he cuts rates faster, critics say he caved. If he holds firm, the investigation hangs over every decision. And so that's why he looked concerned. That's why he looked cornered. Not because he's guilty, but because the room to maneuver is shrinking. And that pressure is exactly what markets are reacting to. So this is kind of where the story stops being about Jerome Powell and starts being more about who comes next. Now, Jerome Powell's term as Fed chair of the Federal Reserve, this is set to end in just a few months. Everyone in Washington already knows that Donald J. Trump is the sitting president of the United States as of January 2026, and he will, in fact, nominate the next Fed chair. Now, that timing changes the meaning of everything that you're watching right now. So here's the part that most people are missing. This investigation is not backwards looking, it's forward looking. Because regardless of how it ends, the message has already been sent, and it's rather clear. To the next Fed chair, to future governors, to the institution itself, defy the administration too aggressively, and scrutiny follows. Now, this creates a very chilling effect. Even if no charges ever materialize, the precedent lingers. Future chairs will remember this moment right here, right now, when deciding how hard to push back, how long to resist, and how much independence they're willing to assert. So this is not about removing Jerome Powell. This is about shaping behavior. And once independence becomes conditional, the system itself starts to change. Now, markets didn't wait for indictments. They didn't wait for press briefings. They reacted immediately because markets move on perception, not verdicts. The value of the US dollar, it depends heavily on one assumption, that the Federal Reserve operates free from political pressure. The moment that assumption wobbles, risk suddenly gets repriced across the system. This is why traders watch the US dollar index so closely. When investors sense the monetary policy could be influenced, even indirectly, capital starts looking for safer places elsewhere. So this is how it works. Less confidence means higher risk premiums. Higher risk premiums mean weaker demand for dollar-denominated assets. And that pressure shows up real fast. And this is a big deal, folks. No renovation numbers were needed. No legal outcomes required. The narrative shock alone was enough. This wasn't a political reaction. This was a confidence reaction. And confidence, once shaken, is hard to rebuild. So when this news hit, one asset spoke louder than any other headline: gold. That's right, folks. Gold moving toward, and in some markets above, $4,600 an ounce. It wasn't speculation. No, this was a signal. Gold moving over $4,600 an ounce? This is crazy. Okay, so gold doesn't surge because traders are optimistic. It surges when confidence in paper systems weakens. So here's the mechanism that most people don't hear explained. When the dollar's credibility slips, it takes more dollars to buy the exact same ounce of gold. And that's not gold going up. It's the currency buying less. This is the market voting. Investors around the world hedge uncertainty the exact same way that they always have, with assets that don't depend on policy promises or political outcomes. So when questions swirl around central bank independence, gold becomes a referendum on trust. And I want you to notice this, okay? Gold didn't wait for court filings or legal conclusions. It reacted to perception, the exact same way currencies do. And so this is why this move matters. It tells you how global capital interpreted the Powell investigation instantly and without emotion. Now, what you're seeing right now didn't start this week. It's a revival. Throughout 2025, global markets quietly leaned into what's become known as the Sell America trade. Fewer U.S. treasuries, more trade settled outside the U.S. dollar, more payment systems designed to reduce dependence on U.S. monetary policy. This investigation didn't create that trend, it accelerated it. When foreign governments and large institutions sense instability at the center of the dollar system, they diversify, not out of ideology, out of risk management. And once those shifts begin, they don't reverse easily. And so this is why the Jerome Powell investigation matters far beyond Washington. It feeds a narrative that U.S. monetary governance may be more politically exposed than previously believed. Now, that perception alone changes behavior. Capital flows are cautious. Trust is selective. And every headline that follows Fed independence adds friction to the dollar's global role. Now, this is not collapse, but it is erosion, and erosion compounds. So here's how this ultimately lands, and this is the part that matters the most. If the Federal Reserve's independence is even perceived to be weakened, markets don't wait for confirmation. They reprice first and ask questions later. That repricing doesn't unwind easily because trust, once damaged, takes years to rebuild. Now, this is not about whether Jerome Powell stays or goes. This is about what future policy lawmakers learn from this particular moment. If central bank leadership believes their decisions can trigger legal or even political retaliation, caution replaces conviction. And cautious central banks, they don't anchor currencies, they react to pressure. That's the long-term risk. So under President Trump's current term, a new chapter of monetary governance is being rewritten. This is one where accountability, transparency, and power are being renegotiated in real time. Some see that as necessary corruption. Others see it as destabilizing. Markets don't care which side wins the argument. They care whether the rules are predictable. And right now, predictability is in question. So that's why the dollar reacted. That's why gold surged. And that is why this story isn't going away. Because when the institution that anchors the system starts to wobble, the entire system feels it. Drop a like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.